This is big breaking emergency news. We are now seeing these chemicals being released into the air right now. And they're saying this is a quote, secret experiment that they've actually been doing for a while now. And it has just been revealed to the public that these chemicals are being sprayed into the air. You can see this. This is a real picture of what's happening right now in the United States. All right, so this is big that they're admitting this. All right, this is a real picture from the San Francisco Chronicle. All right, this is Matthew Galaley with SRI International, a nonprofit research institute that operates a cloud arsenal research instrument during the first of its kind geoengineering field study launched aboard the aircraft carrier Hornet in Alameda. This is happening right now in the United States. And it's been going on for a while and there's been no consent. All right, so let's dive into the details here. Really quick, hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos a day, keeping you guys updated on this big urgent news. All right, so you can see here, this is what's happening in San Francisco. That's San Francisco in the background right now. They got the American flag, and this is happening on an aircraft carrier. This is insane that this is being allowed to happen, and they're just spraying these chemicals into the air. And this is happening all over the country. You can see here, they're calling it a secret climate experiment. All right, this is coming out of Politico, a secret climate experiment in Alameda. This is very dystopian. They're saying they've been doing this in secret, releasing these chemicals into the air without our consent and without our knowledge. And people have probably seen it, they've probably smelt it, but now we are getting confirmation that this is happening, and it's being released by these quote non-profits that have approval from these local governments, right? And this is going to affect the air for everyone. So it can be San Francisco approved, and then the entire air around this region could be affected just because one city approves it. Now, this entire region of California is having these chemicals sprayed. All right, so this is what they're doing. And they even say here, the USS Geoengineering. That's what they're calling this ship now, because they're using it for geoengineering and weather manipulation. All right, you can see here, it says, on Tuesday morning, a group of scientists launched a stream of microscopic salt particles into the sky off the deck of a decommissioned aircraft carrier in Alameda on the eastern shore of San Francisco Bay. All right, so they're releasing nanoparticles into the air. They're saying microscopic salts. All right, they're saying it's a combination. This is their own formula that they're creating. They're calling it salts, all right, because technically some of the chemicals they're releasing are salts, like sulfur dioxide are being released, and these nanoparticles are being released as well into the air, and we are potentially breathing them in, and they could be hard to get out of our system. All right, you can see here that sulfur dioxide is used in geoengineering. This is an article from CNN last year. It says this controversial climate solution could be exactly what the planet needs, or it could be a colossal disaster. All right, and it says down here that the most researched method, however, is stratospheric aerosol injection, which involves spraying aerosols such as sulfur dioxide particles into the stratosphere more than 12 miles above the Earth to reflect sunlight back into space. It could be done with balloons or specialized airplanes able to fly at high altitude. This is an article out of CNN. This is 100% real. And this is what they're doing right now. And they spray it in the skies. Okay, that's stratospheric aerosol injection. That's in the high in the stratosphere. And there's also releases from the ground that are happening right now. Right? You can see here. Here's another article. This program was just admitted in the past week, in the past few days, they admitted that they've been spraying and releasing these chemicals into the atmosphere. It says geoengineering test quietly launches salt crystals into atmosphere. It says a solar geoengineering experiment in San Francisco could lead to brighter clouds that reflect sunlight. And says the risks are numerous. So they know there are major risks to this. This could alter weather patterns, and what are the risks to humans as well. And they're releasing these chemicals that are supposedly going to block out the sun. That's their theory here. But they really don't know the long-term consequences. Potentially these chemicals are trapping more heat in. Maybe they're blocking the sun back in. That gets through, it gets reflected back down again. All right? How are they controlling which way the light reflects? What if it's reflecting back down as well? The sun that does get through, and the heat as well. We don't know what this is doing. We don't know how this is going to interact with the environment, with animals, all these things, and they're spraying, quote, microscopic salt particles into the air. And you can see here it says, the move led by researchers at University of Washington has renewed questions about how to effectively and ethically study, quote, promising climate technologies that could also harm communities and ecosystems in unexpected ways. Right? So they're even admitting this could potentially harm the ecosystem and the community. They're spraying this right outside San Francisco, and you can bet this is actually happening at multiple other cities and counties have very similar programs that I've documented over the years. San Bernardino County, California, has an extensive geoengineering program that I've shown documents for many times because they're very open about it, and their water allocation is directly tied to their cloud seeding and geoengineering. Right? They depend on it every year to meet their water quotas for the county. Right? And it's incorporated into it's managed by the water authority. So this stuff's happening. This is real, right? They're saying it complies with all current regulatory requirements, apparently, because there's probably really no requirements for this. There have been states that have been trying to ban these certain things as well, like Tennessee and Connecticut. They have been passing legislation to stop spraying and releasing of chemicals and particles into the environment and into the air over their state. All right, and even around the state, because they're saying that it could blow into the state. Certain states like Tennessee, they're really trying to clamp down on this and make this a law, because they're saying it's within regulation, but there really are no regulations on it. And it's kind of the Wild West for just releasing things. Think of all the things that are released. GMO mosquitoes. Now we have things released like this into the air. There's things in the water. All these things are happening. Forever chemicals are in our water supply, infecting the wells. It's everywhere, right? And it's hard to avoid, and they just keep mass releasing more things. All right, so be prepared, be ready. You need to have consent for this. They've been doing this, and there's been no consent. It's always just denied. Like, there's official documents for it. Everyone knows what's going on. All right, this article from CNN. Look at this. They're showing exactly what they're doing. They're dimming out the sun, right? And they're even saying they have 3 techniques. This is a real article out of CNN from February 12th, 2023, last year. It even documents there's 3 techniques. Stratospheric aerosol injection, number 1. All right, so specialized airplanes or balloons spray aerosolized particles into the stratosphere to reflect sunlight away. Look at this. This is a pretty nice graph from CNN. All right, I need to save this little graph here, this document, because they're showing us all. Number 2, Serious cloud thinning. Wispy clouds are seeded with aerosol particles to thin them out so they can trap less heat. This is their theory. This is what they're saying. And they don't really know what they're doing. It's all just mad scientist experiments at this point. And it's one of these things where we really can't take the risk when we're dealing with hundreds of millions of people. Their water supply and their food supply are dependent on this as well. All the corn, these crops, they need water. They need lots of water. And a lot of it comes from rain. A lot of it comes from wells, all right, these big pivots. But those wells need to be recharged with water, all right? So these things could be affected. Also, number 3, marine cloud brightening. Low clouds over the ocean are sprayed with sea salt to make them more reflective. Right? That seems like that's the one that we were dealing with here. But they're constantly spraying salts and aerosols into the air and into the environment. All right, I thought we were against releasing things into the air. I thought that was the whole point, is that there's too much stuff being released into the air. It's polluting the air, the environment. I thought that was the whole thing. But now we're just going to release even more to counteract it. We don't know what's really going to happen. And sulfur dioxide, right, one of the main particles that they release, is one of the main contributors of acid rain, right? And we read this here. It says such as sulfur dioxide particles. Look at this. Sulfur dioxide is one of the main pollutants that contributes to acid rain, along with nitrogen oxides. When SO2 and NOx react, the water and sunlight in the atmosphere, they form sulfuric acid, right? So they're forming VOCs up there in the atmosphere, which are making the rain more acidic. And it says acid rain is a broad term that includes any precipitation that has acidic components such as rain, snow, fog, hail, or dust. It says acid rain usually has a pH between 4.2 and 4.4, while normal rain has a pH of about 5.6. All right, so the reason why the pH is so critical is because it starts locking out nutrients for plants. Once the pH is out of whack, all right, then certain nutrients are locked out, like the plant can no longer absorb nitrogen because the pH is too acidic. The water's making the soil too acidic, and now it has a major nitrogen deficiency from the pH being out of balance. All right, so this could affect everything. This could affect the fish, could affect the frogs, everything. Everything could be affected by this. Even our water, us drinking lake water is going to become more acidic, okay? Potentially. Well water could become more acidic. All these sources, river water, could become more acidic because most of it is just runoff from snow or rain, which is more acidic, potentially from these chemicals being released, right? And it says sulfur dioxide is one of the main pollutants that contributes to acid rain. How is this even a option? I really don't understand for these things to be released into the air, all right? And what's that going to do to our body as well? If we are drinking more acidic water, this could potentially affect your health, could affect your absorption as well, potentially, of key minerals, right? Things like zinc, iron, magnesium, all these critical calcium, all these critical elements get locked out when the pH is out of whack too, right? You're not able to properly absorb them. So all these things potentially become issues the more we allow this, and we need to say no now before it's too late. We need to say we don't want this. We don't want these chemicals being released, and it should stop before it gets any worse. Everyone can see it. Everyone knows what's going on, and they will keep gaslighting and saying it's not happening while at the same time these things are being released. All right. So this is what they're doing outside of San Francisco. Please hit it up for me down there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe to help get this warning out. People need to see. People need to know. And this is affecting all of California, and they're doing this all over the coast and all over the country. Experiments like this with our air that we have to breathe in every single day. All right, the color of the sky looks different. You can even see it there. Instead of the sky being a deep blue reflective of the ocean, it is now kind of white. It's very light blue. It's very baby blue. You see that a lot of times now. The sky is not dark blue, and it's potentially from these whitening chemicals that are being released. They even call them cloud whitening chemicals. Okay, so thank you guys. Hope you're staying safe, staying prepared, being ready, all right? And make sure you're ready for the eclipse, right? Just stay home, stay prepared. Don't go to any gatherings or anything like that. Have your preps. You should be fine, right? There's been a lot of things that could happen, but nobody knows. So just enjoy it. Just have fun. And I hope you have big blessings on this day. I hope it's a good day for you. Watching this, I'm going to be able to see it partially. So it's going to be cool to experience. So I hope you guys have big blessings for your life and your family. And I hope you have a big old blessed day.